Welcome, everybody, to the Indiana Basketball Weekly Show on the Green Network. Remember, the Indiana Basketball Weekly Show, as always, is always pushing the sportsbook BetMGM. So if you want to bet Indiana versus Purdue Saturday night or the Super Bowl on Sunday, make sure you check out BetMGM. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click on the link in the description down below. I'm your co-host, Mike Goodpaster, for the Indiana Basketball Show. And as always, I got my two co-hosts. First up, Brian Mohr. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's better than a loss. Next up, 1981 national champion, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, Mike. How you doing? Mike, how you doing? Brian, how you doing, too? I'll include you.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm fine.
Yeah, you know what? That's great.
Okay. Last night, the Indiana Hoosiers come from 18 down, beat Ohio State 76-73. The Hoosiers win the game by 3 points. Anthony Leal hit a big three-pointer from the corner. Malik Renew had a great night. Trey Galloway had a great night. What do we take away from this game? I'll start off with Brian, because really, we beat maybe the worst team in the Big Ten, but we did win at least. And they did show some heart in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game.
Well, yeah, I think they played a pretty strong second half. I can't say they played a very strong first half, but they did hold Ohio State on low numbers on field goals and three-point attempts. I think the thing that I was most surprised about was the fact that Jamison Battle, we held him for 1 of 5 shooting from the three-point line, and that guy is in the top 10 in the country in three-point efficiency. And he got his points. He got 19 points, but he didn't kill us like he usually does from the three-point line. So I think that is a major victory. I think it's more defensive success in the second half than offensive, but we still held him to 33 points in the second half, I believe. It was 33 or 31. So I think our defense actually gelled in the second half where it wasn't in the first.
All right, Steve, what was your takeaway from last night's game?
We won the game.
Yeah.
We won the game.
Okay.
I didn't have a lot of other takeaways.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at the first half, which was one to forget. As exciting as the comeback was for the Hoosiers, the first half performance appeared to be, to me, kind of a carryover of that second half of the Penn State game, which was a mess. Indiana was flat. They lacked fight. It looked like they were on their way to getting blown out by the Buckeyes. They went into the locker room down by 13 points. But the Hoosiers did come back and beat Ohio State. Anthony Leal played a big part in the last few minutes. He hit a couple shots. I would say this, Brian. I think that it's 23 minutes. Would he take like 2 or 3 shots? I would still say that we still have a guard issue. He did hit a big shot. He played solid defense. But I do think people are getting a little bit carried away here with the Anthony Leal show.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think Anthony actually did a pretty good job on the defensive side. Obviously, I forget what he scored, 6 points. I can't say that he was a major contributor from the offensive standpoint, but I think defensively he actually had a pretty solid game. I don't think we can expect a super experience from him every game, but however you look at it, it seemed like he and Galloway clicked on the court together, which it's kind of nice to see somebody clicking together, other than just I think Renew and Ware usually click fairly well. But yeah, the guard problem is still going to be the guard problem.
Yeah, and even if Xavier Johnson comes back, there's still a guard problem because there was a guard problem when Xavier was playing. So I think that's always going to be an issue. So, Steve, your takeaway, you were a big dude. You were a forward. What was your takeaway on Malik Renew's play last night?
Solid. Solid. I mean, this wasn't anything other than Renew and Galloway having career games. Otherwise, we lose this game by 15 points. That's how I feel. And Leal hits a big three-pointer at the end of the game that is a monster three-pointer and probably won the game. But you had 2 players that stepped up and played last night. And without either one of those guys having that game, and neither one of them has shown the consistency of being able to play that game that they played last night on a consistent basis, we lose. I mean,
well, I think Malik has shown that he can be consistently. I mean, you're going to get 16,
Renew
18, and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, Renew is the most consistent player we have on our team. No doubt, Mike. I give you that. But thank God that Trey came up and stepped up and had a monster game for him.
Yeah, and turnovers.
Otherwise, we're sitting here having an entirely different show about how it's doom and gloom again. And if you guys want to manufacture love and hunky-dory out of this game, so this team was 3 and whatever in the Big Ten. All right? They suck. I looked at this game and said, this is a Big Ten basketball game I'm watching right now. Holy cow, this is not good.
And it's the way almost every Ohio State game goes, no matter who they play. They get an early lead, and then they just fall apart in the second half. Because I think they've only lost 1 or 2 games by double digits in the Big Ten. It's just they can't figure out a way to win. And let's see. Robert says, on the road, great win for this team. Denise, Robert, Denise is here.
Denise. Oh, here we go.
I want to give IU props because IU in the last 4 games was 0-4 at wherever the name. I don't think it's St. John's anymore.
Isn't it Schottenstein or Schottenheimer or something?
Yeah. And they were 0-4, and Ohio State was undefeated at home. So this is Ohio State's first loss at home this year. So
are you sure about that?
Well, that's what they said on the TV broadcast. I don't,
My wife only won 3 games.
My wife makes me watch Fox News all the time, so I don't listen to any news anymore from anybody because it's all generally manipulated. But I think that they said they were undefeated at home this year.
Well, I don't ever believe announcers. So
I know. I agree.
No, they got beat by Illinois 87-75. They lost.
Northwestern, they lost at home. No, that's at Northwestern.
That was at North. They got beat to death by Northwestern too. They lost to Wisconsin at home, 71-60. Looks like only 2 losses though.
Well, then that's a fabrication on the part of the people there.
But fabrication. It's the person that looked it up for the guy who said it was wrong.
I didn't see a lot of change in difference from what normally happens other than Trey and Renew had monster games for us and Leal hits a major shot for us.
Robert.
Otherwise, we're talking about another loss.
Michael Houghton says they were 9-0 versus unranked teams before last night.
Okay, it was 9-0 versus unranked teams.
Oh, okay.
That's what – yes, that is, Michael's right. That's what it was, 9-0 versus unranked teams, which Indiana for the last multiple years has been an unranked team.
Well, we've only lost 1 game to unranked teams, I think, haven't we, Brian? Well, Auburn's not ranked now, but they were ranked.
Auburn's not ranked now?
Oh, wait, they are. They just dropped.
Yeah.
They're not in the top 10 anymore. They're like 18 or 19. Actually, it's according to what they did against Alabama. Was that game last night or tonight? I know Auburn plays Alabama. But when we look back at this game, I would say that it's safe to say if they go to Purdue and play like this, they're going to be down. They're going to lose the game by 50 points. But Trey Galloway, as you said, Steve, was dominant. It's the 2nd career game he's had this year. We could just use some average games from him would be fine. But defensively, the Hoosiers surrendered 41 points to the Buckeyes in the first 20 minutes. Ohio State shot 14 for 28 from the field. They got to the free throw line 13 times. Ohio State had a 13-point lead at the half. And Rodney Gale in particular was a problem for the Hoosier guards to try to contain. He had 15 first-half points. The second half was a different story. Indiana did pick up the intensity, and I think Ohio State lost intensity. And it looked to me, it was kind of similar to what we saw in the Indiana-Penn State game, just reversed, Brian. And that was like you have teams in Indiana and Ohio State that are 13-9. They're not used to winning all the time. They're not used to winning close games. So I think what happens then, once you get that big lead and you see it start to chop apart, I think the team falls apart. And I think that's what we saw. Oh, put it like this. It was kind of like the NFC Championship game. The Lions didn't come back or the 49ers didn't come back and win. The Lions gave them the game. Now, I will take being given a game whenever I can get it, but that is what happened last night, I think.
Yeah, but I also think, too, as you were starting to allude, I mean, the last 5 minutes of the game last night, if we could have 40 minutes of the last 5 minutes of the game last night, because I think Indiana imposed its will in the last 5 minutes. I can't say that for the rest of the game, but in the last 5 minutes of the game, they dominated that. They stayed on it. They didn't give up. I mean, I was impressed with the last 5 minutes. I think they could have very easily folded. And like Steve said, we probably looking at a loss right now.
Yeah, I think even the way they played the last 5 minutes will get them beat by a good team.
Here's what I think. I think to me in the last, I don't know. In the last end of the game, Indiana played the same they normally play. Indiana looked like they didn't care whether they won or not. They had two players hot for them that were making shots, hitting things. I think Ohio State was really playing harder than IU. They just didn't have anything for IU.
Oh, I think they do. They got Thornton.
I don't think they did. I think they had nothing for the way Renew and Galloway were playing.
Yeah, but the problem is this, Steve. They didn't need to stop those guys because those guys were going off in the first half, and we still got down by 18 points. It was the fact that the defense shut, especially Thornton, the point guard for them. He's a good player. I think Cups did an all right job on him. Michael Houghton says, nice comeback, but I agree with Steve. Not a big win. Yes, looked like a high school game in the first half. Robert said Ware was off the whole game. He was. I think he shot 3 for 10 or something. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I think Ware's hurt. I think he's playing hurt. He
had to agree.
I had a wide open layup and about buckled his ankle and knee on a play. I mean, nobody was even within a foot of him, 2 feet of him. I mean, and I think he's unhealthy. I think this team has no depth. I don't know. We won the game, so what can I say? We won the game. So anything I say is going to be sour grapes because guys like Brian are going to sit there and look at it like we won the game.
I don't think Brian.
All the great things and why we won the game, and it's the same bullshit this team's gone through all year long. We just happened to outscore this team by 3 points by dumb luck. The fact that Galloway and Ware had outstanding games. Other than that, we're crying about another defeat on the road, not being able to win, and we're one game farther in the hole.
Well, I think this, unless you're a 75-year-old female IU fan, you're not really happy with the win. It's just better than a loss, Brian.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure where Ware had a great game. He scored 6 points, and he sat the bench with
Renew. I'm sorry, Renew. I'm acting like Joe Biden right now. Excuse me. All right, so
you got to get a little slobber, and then
Mitterrand didn't die in '97 or '96. He's still alive, running France. It's not Pelosi. It's
hey, if France can have a dead guy running their country, we got a dead guy running ours.
I'm sorry, Brian. It was Renew, not Ware. I apologize. Forgive me for making a mistake like IU makes 50% of the time they touch the basketball.
All right, go ahead, Brian.
I think the difference in the game in the second half, honestly, and it would be nice if we could see it consistently, is Leal did a very good job defensively. And if we could see that more, I think the team has a better chance at winning more. But, we've got to have a strong defense. Defense creates offense. Everybody agrees with that. And I think the big difference was Leal's defensive strategies paid off. He stole the ball a couple of times. He was definitely in the guard's face at Ohio State towards the end of the game. He disrupted. It's more than I can say for a lot of the other players, but I think Leal had probably the best defensive game I've seen him have.
All right, real quick, we actually have comments and questions coming from Twitter Messenger, which I've never checked before. So anybody that's ever said a question on there, I am sorry. We can't pull them up on the thing, so I never even noticed it. But I just hit Twitter to try to share this.
Twitter, is that the one with
Or
the
X.
letter?
X, formerly Twitter.
I don't care. It's Twitter to me, and the Washington Commanders are still the Washington Redskins to me, also. But this is from at what's
I got a question from Scott Baio, Chachi.
Did you?
It's not related. It's related to we belong to the same golf club.
Okay. At what's up
Carmen
night?
Electra sent me a question.
Who?
Carmen Electra.
Did she?
Yeah, she was on Baywatch.
Yeah.
Dan Dockage, we are back.
Dan
Hey, I see Robert Stewart. Robert Stewart saying hi to Denise. What are you doing, Robert?
I tried to ignore it. I hope Robert's not married. Brian Wetters. Brian Wetters says the team, and if he is, I hope his wife doesn't watch the show. The team is going to tire of the pattern of falling behind and catching up. Well, I mean, usually we get the lead in and lose it, so this was a little bit different. But Lille also rebounds. That's right. He had 6 rebounds last night. Balin Gardner, good day, gentlemen. But the same thing. I mean, the reason I don't get overly excited, other than the fact it's Ohio State, is the fact that Lille played really well. Galloway played really well. We see it like once every month or two. So I'm not going to get too excited and think that they're going to pull it off for a second straight time at Purdue. The
only other thing to that, though, is Mbako didn't exactly have a great game either, and he's been scoring more.
Yeah, but it's not like he's been
points.
good.
I mean, it's about normal.
I think he's probably been around 13 or 14, but I don't know.
What's Mbako's average?
I have no idea.
I thought it was like.
Look it up, and I will read Michael's question.
I'm looking.
What's Galloway's average too?
Okay, Michael Houghton asked this, or says this: Ware looked dehydrated, no legs in the end. Trey and Leo played good together on defense and offense. Woody should keep those two starting off together. I assume by that he means Trey and Leo. What do you think about Galloway and Leo as the starting backcourt, Steve?
Pardon, repeat that again. I was reading Balin's comments. He's just a genius. I mean that sincerely. Balin's a smart man. What was your question?
That makes me feel bad. You called me a smart man, too. Ware looked dehydrated, no legs in the end. Trey and Leo played good together on offense and defense. Woody should keep those two starting together. Do you believe that the starting backcourt should be Leo and Trey?
Okay, first off, in terms of Ware looking dehydrated, if that's the case, I know Tim real well. Tim makes sure those guys are hydrated and fluid. And
if anything, it's a knee injury from the earlier injury.
That's the truth. That's on Ware, not on anybody else. So that's his own dumb fault. But and trust me, I've gone into games dehydrated. But that was thank you to Dick.
That's what beer does to you.
That was thank you to Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I know. So Trey and Lille.
Didn't you end up sleeping with a woman named Jack that night, too?
I don't know that I would.
Was your last name off?
No, it was Daniels. Jack Daniels.
No, I can tell you guys stories that you would make your hair stand up.
Maybe we'll have to start doing like Bill Maher and have a Indiana basketball after dark and only put it on YouTube.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
By the way, the game.
I'd like to see Anthony get more consistent, more playing time. Is what I'd like to see. I don't have a lot of expectations of him, but I think that he's one of these players who's just going to give you that moment. And last night, that moment won a game for us. It did, and that's a good thing. And I think if that kid got more minutes in crucial play, maybe start him. I don't know. Why not give it a shot?
Hey guys,
what else you got to lose? Why not start?
Guys, we've already got one subscriber for an After Dark show, and of course, it's Robert Stewart.
There you go, Robert.
All right, Denise, I would suggest
Robert,
you not come to that show.
I have names, phone numbers, and photos.
Hey,
what up with? What?
What up with? It's just Robert Carter saying hi. Robert Stewart says he likes the 3-guard lineup. Balin,
I like the 3-guard lineup too. Why not?
I guess. At a dance recital, thank you for helping me get through it. I understand that. I had a daughter once. I shouldn't say that.
Once? Okay.
I still do, but
Okay,
She
so
doesn't live with me now, so.
Mike, how do you look at Galloway? He's 6'6". Do you look at him as a forward, a swing forward, a guard? What do you look at him at?
He's a tweener. This is like an NBA
No.
guy that, I mean, he doesn't really handle the ball good enough to be a point guard. He
But they play
shoots
him
good
there.
enough, but he doesn't shoot enough to be a shooting guard. He could be your passing guard. There's your 3-guard lineup. Let Mbako play the shooting guard.
Okay,
Let
so
Leo play
Mike,
point.
let me ask you this question: do you just take Galloway and just cut him loose and say, just go play the forward and just be a Reggie frickin' Miller? Take 30 shots a game. Give us 20 points a game. Do you do that with him?
I think our concern is this. If we're playing Purdue, which we are playing Purdue next, and the thing about Purdue is the thing that will beat Purdue, as we know, because we've seen it done in past tournaments, we've seen it done this season by Northwestern, almost twice by Northwestern, is you need quick guards to be able to beat them. And I think the only way to beat this team right now is to play a 3-guard lineup. And I would press the hell out of them, and I would use my entire bench to do it. Because really, if we play a normal game, they're going to beat us unless a freak of nature happens.
Well, Mike, how deep is this bench? I mean, seriously, how deep?
There are, like, I counted last night 15 guys on it. I would use them.
Okay, well, you got 15, but you got like 9 of those guys getting
Real quick, Denise Swartz, off topic, will you do a Super Bowl breakdown show? Yes, that will be tomorrow night live at 7 o'clock, Denise. And Robert will be there too. So there you go. And Robert agrees. He wants up tempo.
We love Robert.
We know what Robert wants. It's not up tempo.
All right, so Mike.
Why is people hate Mike Woodson? Robert?
Nobody hates Mike Woodson.
Steeler fan.
Oh, that Mike Woodson. Yeah, I didn't know.
No, the Steeler fan. Why is people hate Mike Woodson? I'm just saying he writes like a Steelers fan that graduated from Penn State. I'm just kidding.
Nobody hates Mike Woodson.
I like Robert. Yeah, nobody hates him. It's just when you don't win, nobody's going to like it. It's just how it is. And I mean,
so if you play a 3-guard offense, who do you play?
To tell you the truth, I would go with one big. I would go with Mbako. I would go with Cubs. I would go with Trey. I would go with Leo.
Okay.
And
Mike, repeat that.
I would go with Leo, Cubs, Galloway, Mbako, and I would go with Renew because I don't think Ware is going to be ready to play either way. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I would then play them. I would do this. I would play them the way Fairleigh Dickinson did last year, which is press the hell out of them. And Fairleigh Dickinson used almost every guy on their bench. They fouled the hell out of Zach Edey. They basically abused him, wore him out. And the other thing about Zach Edey right now is if you use fouls by bringing Peyton Sparks in just to foul him, Zach Edey's having major issues making free throws right now. And, this could be like the Hack-a-Shack back in the day. They throw it to Shaq with less than 3 minutes left. You foul his ass because he's going to make one out of 4.
Ohio State game? Are we done with the Ohio State game?
Yeah, that's why I got any University of Purdue up there. Oh, wait. Robert graduated from Kentucky. I'm sorry. You actually speak pretty good.
Hey, Robert, no more. Kentucky's a great school. I got a lot
Let me ask this. Why wouldn't you, if you want defense, why wouldn't you go with Gunn?
I didn't say I wouldn't. I said I would use the entire bench.
Oh, Brian, that's a good question because Gunn hadn't played all year. Why would you take a guy and put your
I would play him. I would play Gunn. I would play Banks. I would play everybody, and I would try to wear their ass out.
I agree. I would give them minutes, but basically, in my opinion, the Saturday night at 8 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock my time, makes or breaks IU season.
Yeah, we find out exactly what this team is.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll know at 9 o'clock Saturday night, 10 o'clock your guys' time, where IU is. I mean, if they beat Purdue, they still have a chance to get in the dance.
Hey, if they fight their ass off and damn near beat Purdue, I will take that as long as the game after that they play the same way and get a win.
So what do we got to do? Okay, so let's change the focus here. While we got everybody online still, what do we got to do to beat Purdue? What do we got to do? Mike, you say 3-guard offense.
I would go small. I would foul the hell out of Edey. I would attack everything, because this is the thing about Purdue. When people say that Matt Painter is not a good tournament coach, a good tournament coach is basically, you had maybe the greatest tournament coach of all time. They can change things during a game, and they may come into a game thinking, hey, we're going to start off the first 8 minutes like this, and then we're going to play the next 5 minutes like this, and then we're going to go back to this. Because this is the thing. Matt Painter is not a good coach when he's uncomfortable. All right. Whether it means he's down late or he has a coach that is changing things up on him and doing different things. If we go out and we play like we normally do, they're going to beat us by 40 points, even if Galloway goes off and Leal goes off and Malik goes off. Because if we play their game, we can't beat them. But if we make them play the game they don't want to play, then you've got a chance. And yeah, maybe Edey makes all these free throws and we get beat by 30 and look stupid. But I would rather go try to win the game and look stupid than lose a close game playing like I normally do.
I agree 100%, Mike. I agree 100%. Up-tempo here. Robertson's up-tempo offense and defensive. Edey can't run the floor. Edey can run the floor. I don't.
But I don't think he can run it for 40 solid minutes.
You got to get Edey on the bench as fast as you can.
Which may be able to be done if you're fouling the hell out of him, frustrating him, and make him play 94 feet all the time. Because this is the thing. Purdue's guards aren't great. When Nebraska pressed them for a little while, when Northwestern pressed them for a little while, they turned the ball over. And, Nebraska and Northwestern at home continued to press, and they both beat them. Now, they do have a lot better guards than we've got, but that's not my point here. My point is, there's a specific way to beat Purdue. And if you do that, you got a chance, Brian.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to get Edey's points no matter what.
Yep. But I want to abuse his ass. I don't want him playing defense as hard as he usually does. That's my whole point to harassing him on offense and fouling him.
You've got to make those two guards uncomfortable for Purdue.
How tall is Mbako?
Oh, he's like
6'8".
6'8".
Okay, let me tell you what happened in the 1970s when we were playing. Knight would put me on to guard Joe Barry Carroll, for those of you. And he just would say, in so many terms, really screw him up. Get him pissed off. Get him to swing at you. Do whatever you got to do. If you foul out, you foul out. And I, yeah, we were able to neutralize, and not because of me, but because we just took him out of the game. And other than the four players, other than Joe Barry, we were better than them. But they had Joe Barry, and Joe Barry was a beast in college. And it's just like I was the sacrificial idiot at the time. So I don't know if you do that with Edey. Just push him out as far away from the bucket as you can get him. Stay on him like glue. Have somebody just guard Edey and say, don't. What's the old saying from the movie Hoosiers? I want to know what flavor his gum is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of crap. I don't know.
Well, going back on the gun thing. All right. So he's played in the month of January 24 minutes, 21 minutes, 13 minutes, 17 minutes against the game against Purdue. It's just the last couple of games he's played less minutes. I still think Gunn is better defensively than Cups. I
agree with you, Brian. I'm in your camp.
I think Cups needs to come off the bench.
It pains me to say that, Brian, but I agree with you. It pains me to say that.
It shouldn't pain you.
I mean, then you'd have two 6'6" and a 6'5" guards guarding the perimeter. And then it's up to Mbako. And like you said, if Mbako and Renew, then it's up to them to make Edey uncomfortable. And throw in Sparks and bring him in and out and beat the crap out of him. Because if anybody can beat the crap out of him, it'd be Sparks. It's not going to be Ware.
Well, how about this? I mean, nobody's really going to beat him up, but he'll feel Sparks.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, I think, aren't they about the same weight?
That's really, you should not fat shame one of our players.
Well, he's a big boy. I mean, he could be an offensive line, for Christ's sake. He's what, 265, 275? Steve, how much did you weigh in college?
225. Don't weigh that now. God damn, I love meatloaf.
Hey, come on.
Gosh darn, I love meatloaf. Sorry.
Right. No reason to be a fucking communist. Risley,
No, Adam. I had nothing to do with Joe Barry Carroll in the Sweet 16. That was Ray and Landon.
Well, I thought you said you guarded him.
You just said you guarded him. You said
no, not
you said every time.
That was a Rupp Arena in 1980.
You said every time we played Purdue.
You said every time we played Purdue.
Except that time. That time.
I think what we got to do is look up the box score for the 2 regular season games.
Look up that game. See what I did. How many minutes did I play that game? Somebody look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. All right. Indiana lost 76-69, but it was not Steve's fault because Steve played. Oh, where is it? Steve played 2 minutes. and in those 2 minutes, though, you were productive because you had a foul.
There you go. Yeah, see, I was in the doghouse. I had nothing to do with that. They'd have played my ass. We'd have beat Purdue that game.
Sure. All right.
Boy, here we go.
This is Michael Houghton. Start Leo, Gunn, and Trey as your guards. Let Sparks be the beast in the lane. I don't know how Sparks could ever be a beast in the lane, but Ware will get worked over and foul out. I really think the way his knee looked, even if he's all right, I doubt he plays Saturday night, Brian.
Who, Sparks?
No.
I think he will.
Where?
I don't. Well, where?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I saw him and I saw him stretching his legs at the end of the game. So I don't know. I think he still plays.
I think if we play like we played last night and we get Ware healthy, I think we scare the shit out of Purdue real quick. Because Galloway and Renew are not stoppable when they play like they played last night.
Well, I'll tell you this, Steve, and Brian makes a great point. Nebraska played Purdue smart in Lincoln by going on inside to kick out. They won, but the problem is Malik don't kick out.
No, he doesn't.
And nobody wants to shoot the ball when they do. Last night, They were 1 for 7 in the first half. They were 4 for 6 in the second half. I'll take the 4 for 6 every half.
So, Mike, what should be happening right now? What should the IU be doing right now? They should be working on kicking out.
I'd probably be having a party if we won.
That's probably what they're doing.
Well, just what you would have done. You wouldn't let the coach know, but you would have been a
cigar and sitting back and enjoying life and thinking, I expect another $1 million a year raise after this win.
Well, I think if the front court can trust the back court to actually make these threes, we might see a little bit more of it. But
hey, Ryan, we need to have Ryan on the show. He goes to away games.
Brian, do you not feel better about the 3-pointer? I feel better about us taking threes right now than I've ever felt for IU this year.
Well, obviously, we were 7 for 19, or was it 5 for 19 against?
I feel better that there's a better chance a shot's going to go in.
Well, I mean, obviously, look, as you know, if you take more threes, it opens up the inside. So you got to take them. I'm happier that we're taking them. I just wish we made more of them. That's all.
I take big 24s. That's the big kid, right? What's his name?
Sparks.
I'd push Edie as far away from the bucket as I could get him. Just push him out. Body him up one-on-one. Get him away from the bucket. He'll get frustrated real quick.
Well, Steve, how about this? What if you got Ware running around on the outside and Edie's got to chase him? Then you bring Sparks in for a while and beat on him. So you got Ware wearing him out because Edie's got to chase Ware around the perimeter because we know Ware can shoot a 3.
Yeah, the question I have for you on that, Brian, is are they going to let him chase Ware? Are they just going to say, Edie, they'll go to a zone on us real quick? Or
that's a possibility. But
they're not going to have him chase him. We got to push him out offensively and frustrate him offensively. I think that's where you're going to have a chance at this game is Galloway and Renew having the game they had. Leal stepping up for I would start Leal. God damn it. I just would start him.
Come on, Steve.
I'm sorry.
Why do you want to go to hell so bad?
I'm going anyway.
Because
I'm already there.
I'm trying to fix you.
I live in California, Mike. I'm already there.
Yeah, but you could just change all those people so they don't vote stupid.
Come to Florida, Steve.
I say start Leal instead of Cups and get him in the lineup. See what the guy does if you give him the confidence that you're going to start him and see if he can give you what he did in the last 3 minutes of that game last night for a longer period of time.
Hold on. Robert has a very important comment.
Worth the risk.
Robert has another important comment.
After dark.
Okay, after this, Brian, you're going to have to call Robert and explain to him what After Dark would be. There would be no nudity or anything.
Playboy After Dark. Who didn't see Playboy After Dark?
Well, I didn't.
We were at Hef's mansion the other day.
I didn't see it because I didn't have the pay-per-view or whatever the hell it was back then.
Well, I lived in Indiana. We didn't get like HBO and cable till 1993.
I had Playboy channel.
Risley got it free in college because somebody paid for it.
That was Bill money, baby.
All right, guys. Indiana Purdue. Do we want to do a complete preview show? Talk a little old Indiana Purdue basketball Friday. You be good with that, Brian? Maybe we can look up Steve's stats to see if he ever really shut down.
Oh yeah, we look up the Joe Barry Carroll stats.
The work I did was unsung. Okay, I guarded.
Not if he didn't score no damn points, Steve.
It wasn't my job. We had Woodson. We had
no. I said not as long. I said as long as he didn't score points. Michael Houghton. We had to pull out all the tricks to make them struggle, even if we have a chance at a quad one win. If we have a chance at a quad one win. All right.
Well, we had one last night.
Let's examine that.
Does that stick?
Mike,
or did you find out?
It's a quad. Last night was a quad one win. Right now, yes.
What are our quad one games left?
Can it change? I don't.
What quad one games do we have left?
Oh, we've still got Wisconsin. We've got Purdue coming up, of course. Don't we play Illinois again?
Yeah.
At Assembly Hall or at
and we play Northwestern and Nebraska. There's still 5 games.
At Assembly Hall or at Assembly Hall?
Which ones? Illinois is at Assembly Hall.
In Peoria is
no, it's at the real Assembly Hall in Indiana. Lou Henson was an asshole too. I've never got to say that in the 8 shows, but I always hated Lou Henson.
Lou Henson was as nice a man as you've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I was talking more about the cheating.
He was. Lou Henson was
a cheater. How would you know? You're a big asshole, so he could just be not that bad, and you would think that he was a really nice guy.
The only nice thing Knight said to him is when he retired. For Christ's sake, are you kidding? Knight hated him.
Well, just because Knight hated him doesn't mean he's an asshole. Because let's face it, Knight was an asshole, but it was
just because Lou Henson kicked his ass enough times.
Lou Henson did kick his ass.
All right, so we play at Purdue. That's quad one. Versus Northwestern at home. That should be quad one, I think.
As of right now.
Versus Nebraska at home, that would be potentially quad one, but not quad two.
Yeah, that's at home. That's just top 30, so that's probably.
Basically, we have Wisconsin and Purdue left for quad one game.
We got Wisconsin at home. That's quad one. Then we got at Minnesota and Michigan State at home.
So we have 2 quad one games. We got to win this game.
Well, where is Minnesota ranked right now in the net rankings?
I think I'm pretty sure they're moving up.
They're moving up because they're hot as hell right now.
But we play at Minnesota.
Yeah, which means they just have to be top 75. They should be top 75, I would think.
Well, we play at Maryland. Is Maryland top 75 in the net?
Did they win?
Borderline. Yes, they lost to
Rutgers beat Maryland.
They lost to Rutgers at Maryland. Ew, that's not good.
So that hurts them. I mean, the team to look out for right now to me is Minnesota. And Minnesota could hurt us because their record could be similar, but with a lot more quad one wins. and we've still got to play them there. So
So
I guess
who do we
can
got
take care of
going
that.
to the dance? We have Wisconsin, Purdue,
In Illinois.
guaranteed.
Right now, I think Nebraska, Northwestern, and Michigan State would all go too. I think they would get 6. I don't think it'll stay
The
that
three
way.
up with the last 3 being on the bubble, right, Mike?
Michigan State, I would think, is bubble. Nebraska, Northwestern, questionable. Do you got any bracketology pulled up, Lenardi or anything?
Mhm.
Hold on.
Michigan State right now is Michigan State's 24 on the net.
Yeah, so they're still pretty safe, but they did lose to Minnesota the other night, which doesn't help. But they've got so many quad 1 games they've played, which drives me nuts because I don't know why. I can see giving a little credit for losing to a tough schedule, but if you never beat anybody and you go 0-12 against quad 1 teams, how do you really know how good you are?
Right now, Nebraska's 52. Right now.
You know,
How is Iowa at 59?
Well, same thing.
Nebraska.
They played non-conference. They played right now. The last 4 buys into the tournament. Let's see. Last 4 in Florida, Butler, Washington State, Seton Hall. First 4 out: St. John's, Cincinnati, Colorado, Wake Forest. Next 4 out: Memphis, Villanova, Providence, Oregon. Let me see if I can find his bracket here. All right, he's got Purdue as a number 1 seed. He's got
Wisconsin's a 2 seed.
He's got Nebraska as a 9 seed. He's got Michigan State as a 7. So Michigan State's safely in right now. So that's 3. You got Northwestern as a 9. So see, a couple losses could change that for them.
Because they're not. Nebraska's not very high in the net. I mean, Northwestern is not very high in the net right now.
Yeah, number 5 would be Illinois. They're a 3 seed right now.
You say Butler's last 4 in?
Yeah.
Who's coaching Butler right now?
Thad Matta. Wisconsin is a 3 seed.
Job before he left to go coach Butler?
He was at Indiana. Well, he was too sick to coach. He needed to get fused. Are you going to use the Lord's name in vain?
And we had Thad Matta.
Why would we want Dane Fife?
Oh, he spent a lot of time under Tom Izzo.
You know what? So did Tom Izzo's wife. Do you want her to coach the team?
Do what?
So did Tom Izzo's wife. Do you want her to coach the team?
Yeah, Izzo's wife was close to Izzo, but we don't want
She
her
was under
either.
probably daily.
Okay, all right, never mind. You got
No, explain it to me then. Don't get all shitty with me. I just asked you.
I'm trying to, Mike, but you cut into me.
I cut into you. I made a joke, Steve.
Yeah,
it was about
Dane's
Tom
a good
Izzo.
basketball coach, and
Fuck
certainly could have presented some things to Mike as an assistant coach on the bench that might have helped Mike coach important games from here on out.
I don't believe
this
that.
team. I do.
Why doesn't Dane Fife have a job?
I don't think Dane. I talked to Dane probably 6 months ago. I talked to Dane. He's not really heavily looking. He's making a lot of money doing broadcasting right now.
Okay, so my question would be, as a head coach, college basketball, he's 82 and 97. Why would you want Dane Fife?
He's what?
82 and 97.
As what?
As a head coach in college basketball.
Where did he coach college basketball?
Indiana, Purdue,
Fort Wayne.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. All right.
Well, let me ask you this.
I rest my case.
He was an assistant coach for Izzo, but wasn't he mostly a recruiter?
Actually, he was an associate head coach.
Was he?
Okay. Hey, by the way, the Fort Wayne Mastodons have made the tournament a couple times since Fife left, and this year, right now, they're 15 and 8.
All right.
Well, but he left a long time ago, right? I mean, that
I think it was like
15.
8 or 9 years ago. I don't know.
No, longer than that.
Well,
that was around 2012.
I have no point. My point is just that there was plenty of opportunity to retain intellectual property around you of guys that had been in those situations before. And you guys want to use experience as an asset when it's good. It fits your story, your narrative. Well, you don't. When you have, your intellectual property and knowledge, it's good all the time. I mean, whether you like Dane Fife or not, he worked under Tom Izzo, watched Tom Izzo, coached his teams, helped.
Wait a second. But Mike Woodson played for Bobby Knight.
Head coach, which I don't know that's a title. I get that. But, it's somebody, if you don't got to get rid of him, don't get rid of him. Thad Matta is a coach who's taken Xavier, Ohio State, Butler again. And if you got that as an asset to you, why piss it away?
Because they didn't.
He was an assistant athletic director. He wasn't even an assistant coach.
He took the Butler job.
I think that Thad would have given any help and assistance that was asked upon him. He did not want to step. I'm only speaking from.
Thank you, Denise. We will tag you for the Super Bowl show.
He didn't want to step on Mike's toes. Mike didn't want the help. And this is what you get.
Is that what you were told by him? Or by Dane Fife? Did he tell you that he didn't want Matta's help? Or?
No, Mike, it was not. I have not spoken to any of the characters.
Okay. Well, you said you talked. You said you talked.
I had been involved enough in the situation to understand about what's happening. Is that Mike wanted to do this on his own, and he didn't want. I just think that those guys around right now would have really helped him formulate a game plan to beat Purdue, which would have helped us a ton. It couldn't have hurt.
Well, I'd say yes. Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, if you were telling me Matta was released, then I would agree with you. But Matta took the Butler job because he wanted it.
We don't. That's what we don't. That's what we don't. We don't know if he was. Mike released.
Well, he didn't. He quit coaching because of a back problem.
Yeah,
and that's why we brought him in, and then he got it fixed.
And then
so he was in the
all right. Okay. All right. Never mind. Move on. I'm not going to win this argument. And I believe totally in that.
You believe what?
And we're echoing.
Mute. So what'd you say again?
No, it's like nothing. We're fine.
No, I couldn't hear it because it echoed. I just asked what you said.
Yeah, I just said we're back in this picture.
So Robert Stewart.
It's not a battle worth fighting.
All right, Steve, I can explain one thing to you. You told me you talked to Dane 5-6 months ago. I figured that your opinion was coming from something that was told to you. That is the only reason I asked. I wasn't fucking picking on you. Robert Stewart says
on me, Mike. I don't think you were. I have nothing other than
Robert Stewart says rumors are Fife wouldn't leave politics away from the team. Any truth to that, or anybody?
No, I heard that too.
That story comes from the fact that Dane allegedly was running around to recruits, telling them that he was heir apparent to be head coach of the basketball team,
and he probably was.
And because Mike does not have a lot of years left in him.
I know assistant coaches, so I'm just telling you, you got to be careful with the guys you pick.
Yeah.
Wasn't he pretty vocal against the NIL too?
Who, Dane?
Yeah.
Well, then you don't want.
I seem to remember him being pretty outspoken about the NIL program.
Well, I think that most would be vocal against the NIL, Brian. I think that the guys like Woodson, who really can't coach, would love the NIL because they can buy players.
Dude, I'm telling you this. I mean, I don't give a shit about the NIL. If you can coach, people will listen to you. In the NFL, everybody doesn't just bail on their coach because they make more money than them. I think that's horseshit. I think it's a cop-out for coaches to fail. I mean, I think that's what they say.
Wait, Mike. What? No, I think the NIL is a reason to hire a Mike Woodson because he can get named, he can get money in, people will bring it in. I think the porthole is his worst enemy. Well, I think that NIL is his greatest asset. The porthole is his worst enemy because people are going to come here for a year, just like Mbako. He's going to go, screw this crap. Why am I sticking around here in Indiana? This team can't even get me into the dance. Shit, I can't even play in the tournament. I'm out of here. I'm going to go to wherever it's going to take me.
Well, all I can tell you is this, Steve. We know they're not firing him no matter what happens this year. He's going to have an off season to show us if he can build a team or not. If he doesn't, he's not going to be around anymore anyways. I know. But what I'm saying is this. The first two off seasons were much easier. Because you had Trace Jackson Davis. Mute, Brian. You know what I mean? So
You also had you also had Shafino, who actually came on pretty strong at the end of the season.
He sucked. But you got to be good all the time. I don't like it. All right. And presidential politics is what I read. Could be rumor. I can tell you this. This is honest. I am not a fan of any political party, but if you had a liberal coaching the team that supported Joe Biden, I wouldn't coach with him. I don't want to be around a person that is like that. I mean, I've gotten rid of assistant coaches before because they supported Joe Biden. I did it like 5 years ago. I don't want that crap around my team. I mean, I just don't. And I have no clue whether that's why they got rid of him or not. But
okay, here, Robert asked a good question. Where is Mac going to another team with a 5-star free? He's going somewhere where he can be the star. Are you kidding me?
I think this, Steve.
Mbako's not going anywhere.
I would not say that, Brian, because we don't have inside knowledge of it. But I would say I don't think he's going anywhere. But I think the guy you might lose is Renew.
Oh, Renew's gone.
For what?
He's
not going to go in the NBA draft.
Maybe
next year. Kansas. That's where everybody goes is Kansas. And all you are is Dustin to win there.
Make a lot of money and you win championships.
Y'all didn't get my Dustin to win commentary, but that's all right. All right, guys. We will preview the Purdue game. Man, we just previewed it. Hell. What time did they play Saturday? 8? You forgot to unmute yourself, you moron.
Yeah, Saturday on Fox TV, Saturday at 8.
All right, so do you guys want to go? I don't know. We'll figure out a time.
I ain't doing 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. Not happening.
8 o'clock? You're not going to watch the game?
Oh, that's the best words he's ever said.
All right.
I read his lip.
Can I do his mic? Can I do his mic?
Hey, I can do both your mics. I'm the man. Yeah, but your mic has to be muted because you echo and you haven't fixed your damn computer yet. I will say this. What is the game? What is the game after the Purdue game? Is it like a Tuesday or a Thursday?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday? All right, so let's just go Monday?
Sunday.
Can't Sunday. Ain't nobody going to watch that. They're all watching the Super Bowl.
Because I can't. NFL MLB is America's pastime now.
What is?
NFL surpassed MLB as America's pastime.
That was like in 1994.
Okay, well, they just announced it today.
So. Because you're watching Fox News and them and MSNBC.
No,
only tell you stuff when you need to know it.
No, let me tell you that story. Let me just tell you a story.
What story?
I went to bed last night.
Did you just pick your nose and run it across your lips?
No, I didn't. I turned the TV purposely on to the local station 5. Got the best looking weather girls in LA. So I'm like, I'm going to wake up to that. I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it's on Fox. And so my wife had a major drag out, knockdown fight over the fact that every damn TV I turn on in this house now is on Fox.
I thought you just said that's all she would watch.
That's all she'll watch. Yeah, it's Fox.
Then why was she mad because it was on Fox?
No, I was pissed because I had left it on KTLA, which is the local kind of independent channel for Los Angeles.
Okay. So did she walk in and maybe catch you, like maybe with your hand in your pants?
No, we got in a major fight.
You got a major fight because of what the TV was on.
No, because it's the same crap I've heard about Joe Biden. I'm tired of it.
Hey, Robert Stewart says, "Go Reds." I agree, Robert. I need somebody to do a weekly.
Hey, I had to say something about that, Mike.
What?
Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow.
Yeah, so I don't care. Yeah. It's baseball.
And where is Ohtani going to play?
I think he's going to be a DH for the Dodgers, which doesn't sound as scary as when he could actually be a baseball player.
Yeah.
And you guys are paying him $700 million to
He's
DH.
not going to be. No, he's not
Hey,
going to be.
let me ask you this, Steve.
Hey, I've got a correction on the games this week.
Okay.
Purdue Saturday. They don't play again until the following Sunday against Northwestern.
All right, let's just do maybe Monday afternoon then. Either that or we could do like 2 o'clock Super Bowl Sunday.
All right. So much for that.
Which one do you want to do?
Are we done with?
Well, we got the whole week. That's what I'm saying.
We could do a show every day. That'd be so much fun.
I'd love to. Well, I'm not getting paid anything to do this crap.
Wonder why?
Yeah. So do I.
All right.
All right. So go ahead and make your comment about Ohtani and the Dodgers.
Well, I mean, the point is this. The Dodgers since 1990 have constantly tried to buy World Series championships.
Okay.
How many have they won?
They bought one.
They bought one. No, they tried to buy like the last 40, and it worked once. Since 1990.
The Reds have in the last
Since
40?
1990, the Reds have won, just like the Dodgers. But the thing the Reds do have is they've got an extra probably $27 billion they didn't spend on players to lose.
Okay.
And you're not a Dodgers fan, Steve.
And so if you were a true baseball fan, would you rather go to a Reds game tomorrow or a Dodgers game tomorrow?
Oh, no doubt a Reds game.
Really? Seriously?
I'm a Reds fan.
No,
I don't change because I move. I don't change because my team loses.
Well, let's take geography out of the picture. You're just a true.
I would go watch the Reds.
You say I'm not a fan of any team, but where would you?
But I am a fan of.
You want to go to Riverfront Stadium or wherever that dump is?
I would rather go to Riverfront
Great American
Stadium
Ballpark,
than any stadium.
or you want to go to Chavez Ravine?
Why do I want to go to some place where I'm going to be overrun by illegal immigrants, Steve?
Dodgers baseball.
Why would I want to hear? I can't hear that because Vin Scully died. Did you know that?
They still have it on tape.
He's still dead, though.
And they play it.
And he's still
and so
dead.
is Marty Brenneman.
He's alive because he's a Red.
Brennan's
Reds
alive.
never die. Dodgers do.
Nutsall's dead.
Oh, well, he died, but
I know.
He slipped through the cracks.
Games until
don't tell me that because you're a Dodgers fan. You just said
I am now since I moved
I
to
am
LA.
now. That is a typical sports fan that's like under the age of 30 today.
Yep.
I am now because I live here.
I hated
Ohtani's got a nice butt, so I'm going to cheer for him.
I thought baseball was the stupidest sport in the world until I moved to LA. It's an experience going to a Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. The stupidest sport, but it's not a sport, would be NASCAR.
Okay. Well, I can't give you that. Yeah, you got to be an idiot to like NASCAR. I agree with you.
Well,
no doubt there.
I think most of the people I know that like NASCAR are fine individuals, like Ryan Peters, and you can check out Stuck in a Catch Fence if you go look it up on YouTube. All right, Steve.
NASCAR show on YouTube.
Steve, give me it's the only one I know of. Steve, give me a final score for the Indiana-Purdue game.
IU 78, Purdue 76.
Brian.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah, that's right. I think they win. I think they win the game, Brian.
All right. I'll go Indiana 80, Purdue 79.
All right. Now we're going to try common sense. I'm going to say Purdue 88, Indiana 65.
Mute, Brian.
Where did he end now, Steve? Nobody cares now. Brian Wetters, 82-77, Purdue.
Come on, Robert, what's your pick? Everybody, give us your pick.
We know Robert's pick. He picks Indiana for the 2029 Indiana-Purdue game.
I think Indiana wins by 2 points. I think they pull this off.
All right, guys. So, what do we got here? We got 2 that pick Indiana. I pick Purdue. What's the winner of this bet get? Because remember, if IU don't make the tournament, you guys got to do whatever I want. You all promise?
All right.
No, that was a fucking hat.
Hey, watch your language on the show. Damn.
Ryan,
you're over here doing this? What you're doing this?
Yeah, I was flipping you off. Hey,
okay.
Little kids listen to us. They don't want.
Mike, what do you want for a bet?
Riz by IU by 2. I'm not going to bet against IU because then I've got to pick against them. And then when I watch the game, I won't want to lose because I'm overly competitive.
Look at that, Brian. He's chicken shit. He won't bet.
All right, but if you do, I'm going to wear. All right, what's the bet then, Brian? What's the bet, Riz?
Brian didn't want to bet. You called the bet. You're the one.
Let's make it something exciting, Riz. What would be exciting?
All right, make it.
All right, your national championship ring. You got to give it to Brian.
Ooh, I got nothing that good.
That ain't happening.
Okay. Send me your dog in the mail.
I think Riz has got to wear a Ron DeSantis sweatshirt. How's that?
Well, he probably likes him, don't he?
Ron DeSantis.
No, Steve is a fake Republican.
He's the governor of Florida, Steve.
Oh, I don't have any problem with Ron.
Okay. I thought you didn't like him.
I worked for Dan Quayle for 5 years. I worked for the Vice President of the United States. I don't really care.
You got to mute it, Brian, until you fix
it. Politics doesn't, whatever. You know what? The people vote. And when the people vote, I go with how the people vote. I get behind my team.
Okay.
Did you teach Dan Quayle how to spell potato?
Yeah, I wrote that speech, dumbass.
He wrote the speech.
I wrote the speech. I seriously did. You think I'm kidding?
Yes, I do. What's in the cup? What's in the cup?
Diet Coke.
Liar. Let me see. Pour it into something so we can see. No, a can means nothing.
Oh, God.
No, open it now. Does not count. We don't know what's in the cup.
There you go.
Hey, Robert Stewart, I will sound like Dane when it comes to Joe Biden. I am not a big Donald Trump fan. I'm not a big politician fan. But all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Did we decide to do it Sunday at like 2 or 3, or are we going to go Monday?
No, I'm not talking IU basketball on Sunday.
Why?
Because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
The game starts at 6:30.
3:30 my time.
I know, which makes it even later, Steve.
No, I have Puppy Bowl.
Puppy Bowl doesn't start at 2. It starts at 3.
I have Lingerie Bowl.
No, because T is mad at you because of the TV. You're not getting Lingerie Bowl either.
I have 5 TVs.
Here we go. Michael Houghton.
He's watching Peacock and the girls from wherever.
Michael Houghton says he put rum in first before the Diet Coke.
I don't drink.
He forgot to throw in any more.
I don't drink, period.
Then how are you drinking a Diet Coke?
I don't drink alcohol.
All right. And the final comment of the show, which I think is very apropos for our show. We could do an after dark on Rumble with Robert. And just have him sit around.
Robert, Denise is gone already. You're getting nothing.
Yeah, but remember, Robert, tomorrow night you can watch us, and Denise will be there at 7 o'clock as we preview the Super Bowl. We will be here with the Indiana Purdue show. I have to do an interview on TV in Seattle, Washington, Monday at like 1 o'clock. So you guys good for like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock Monday good?
6 o'clock Monday good? 6 Monday is good for me.
All right. Riz, you good with that?
What are we doing?
Indiana Purdue recap?
Yeah, there's a great book you all ought to read. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, it must be a short book.
No, it's called Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. Look it up and read it.
No, I've already written a book like that. I'll send it to you.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you go to BetMGM to bet on the Indiana game or the Super Bowl this weekend. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, myself, Dan Kornhauser, Steve Risley will give you our prediction and update on all Super Bowl news at 7 o'clock. Make sure you check us out there, Twitter. It'll be on YouTube later, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock. And Michael Houghton, of course, is cheering for the Chiefs. You knew that would happen. I hate the Chiefs. But I hate the 49ers too. I'm just taking the lesser of two evils. It'll be how I vote for president. All right, guys. You can follow Brian Mohr on X at BK Mohr. You can follow Steve Risley at SRisley34. You can follow me at Grueling Truth. But for now, for Brian, Steve, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.